Hello everyone, Sarah with you today. So for this month, Technique Tuesday is all about embossing. I am actually going to use both dry embossing and heat embossing. First, I'm going to dry emboss this white cardstock with the intertwine embossing folder. This is a 3D embossing folder, and I'm going to take a mini mister and I'm going to spray some water all over that paper so that my embossing doesn't crack the paper. This is the best way to do it. Just give it a little mist, put it through the embossing machine, whatever settings are on your machine for embossing, and look how awesome that is. I love this embossing folder. I don't have a lot of 3D embossing folders or embossing folders, period. I only have a couple. And so mostly because I don't use them a whole lot, but when I do use them, I have certain ones that I love, and this is one of my favorites. Next, I'm going to grab 3 washi tapes from Chamel's Live the Dream collection. I'm putting those onto a scrap piece of white cardstock, and I'm going to go ahead and trim those. The reason I'm putting them on white cardstock is because I don't want, washi tape is kind of transparent to some degree, and I don't want the background. I want a smooth background. I don't want the embossed background, and I don't want you to be able to see through it. So I'm going to trim away all the white cardstock, so I just have 3 strips. I'm going to trim those up, and then I'm going to cut one end to be kind of like a ribbon cut. I'm going to do that with all 3 of these strips, and the yellow one and the stripy one, I'm actually going to save the excess because we're going to use those too. So we're not going to waste any of those washi tapes. We're going to use both of the pieces. I am just going to trim off the edges of the embossing folder where my paper was a little larger than what the embossing folder was. So I'm just going to trim my paper down. And now I'm going to kind of get an idea for what embellishments, what sentiment, how I want to decorate, or how I want to embellish my card, those types of things. This paper is still a little damp. Let's say damp. So while it dries completely, I am going to go ahead and go through my paper repack and my die cut pack from Live the Dream and choose some elements for the front of my card. Now, this is not the only embossing we are going to do on this card. So I do want to give that background panel time to really dry. I am going to go around this little banner. I decided that was a good card sentiment, stay in touch. And then I have all of these fun die cuts from the Live the Dream collection. I just wanted something fun and cute. I ended up grabbing like all of the like foodie ones, and fairly quickly I'm going to decide to go ahead and use that jar of jelly beans. Next, I'm going to take that 3D embossed folder. Now it is totally dry, not damp anymore. I'm taking my Brutus Monroe embossing inking pad, and I'm just running it over the top of that 3D embossed texture. And I don't want it to look messy, and then I'm coating it with some Lava Lamp Glow embossing powder from Brutus Monroe. And you can see here, I'm flicking as much of that embossing powder off as possible. I don't want this to be coated. I just want the embossing powder to catch the edges of where the 3D embossing is and to have this kind of light, messy coating. It's going to kind of bring that texture to life, and because the Lava Lamp embossing powder is glitter embossing powder, so it's like this orange glitter gorgeousness. It's not orange, right? Like it's orangey brown sort of. And it will give my embossed panel more texture, more interest. So we have double embossed on our card today, right? We've embossed dry and we have embossed wet. So I added lots and lots of wet glue. I'm going to go ahead and kind of push carefully. I know in the video it doesn't look like I'm pushing carefully, but trust me, I'm pushing carefully because I don't want to ruin my embossed texture. And then I'm going to go ahead and I am going to lay some acrylic blocks on top here. That way the glue will really adhere to my card base and stay where I want it to be. So I left it there just for a little bit, just enough to get that glue so that the edges aren't going to kind of warp up. And then I'm going to come in with all of those pieces and put my card together. So I'm just taking each of the pieces I've already chosen and I'm just going to add them right to the card front, exactly where they were on the mock-up. I think that either way, whether you did the embossing or not, the heat embossing, this card would be super fun. But I do really, really like the glittery effect of that embossing powder, and it just catches right there and all that texture. It looks really pretty. I know the camera is not doing it justice because it's not picking up the glitter or you know, that fun kind of embossed glittery texture that it has, but in person it is so gorgeous. And I did try to catch some of that glitter and texture in one of the close-up photos as well. So I am using my Nuvo Deluxe adhesive in my glue press, and I'm just going to go ahead and add all of these little pieces to my card front. And that's it. I do hold it up to the camera for a minute so you can see how the light catches it and it's all that glitter. It's so pretty. Again, I don't really know that the video does it perfect justice, but having it like tilted up into the sun kind of did allow the video to kind of catch all that fun texture and glitter. For a last little embellishment, I'm just going to add some little pearls. These are some pearls that are on my desk. They've been floating around my desk. I'm trying to put them on as many projects as possible till I use them all up. And they are from Pink and Maine. So the pack comes with a whole bunch of different colors. I'm just using the aqua ones, and they are supposed to be self-adhesive. They have little glue dots on the back, but I don't trust them. Plus some of them stay to the backing paper. So I'm adding more adhesive so that nothing falls off my card. Here are all of the close-ups. Thank you so much for joining me today here at A Cherry on Top's YouTube channel. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and I can't wait to see what kind of embossing shenanigans you're going to get up to this month. Bye!